I'm more of the know what you're getting into before you open the door kind of a person. So I feel like having gone through all that effort, I actually don't want to give that to him. I want to give him this thing. So... Hi, this is Cass from Aussie Cass Plays, and welcome back to Strange Antiquities. And I'm staring at this thing again. I realised, and I don't know if I actually commented on it, I don't even remember if I noticed, but obviously these are buttons, and I'll have to put in some kind of press the correct buttons to unlock something kind of situation. When I was editing it, I was like, they're very obviously buttons. Why did I not figure this out sooner? But I was just looking through the items I haven't identified. I'm not seeing anything like with that flower on it or anything like that. I did, after the last part, label a few things based on the book. So went through the descriptions. We'd labeled that in the last part, but went through and put theories on a few of the different items based on the book descriptions. Obviously, they're not all going to be guaranteed to be correct. I figured we could kind of go through my thinking as it comes up, but what we'll do, I don't know what that would be unless it's something I've already identified. I did re-sort all of this again, so all of the things that are in the cabinet are just sorted alphabetically now, and fingers crossed I don't need to know what was in the cabinet. Hopefully the game isn't assuming that I will remember, because that would be a problem. Because I mean, I could go back and check a previous video, I guess, but most people can't do that, so obviously that would be a problem. I don't think they'd be that mean. This game has had a few puzzles in it that have stumped me. Look, I'm not seeing anything with the flower. That looks like a St. John's poppy from the previous game. I mean, we could go very quickly to the crypt, because the card that had the sun and the moon was this. Those two symbols nestled together. Unless there's a crypt maybe that has the St. John's poppy and a sun and a moon on it, like all together. That's got the sun and the moon nestled together. That was the one that was the card clue. That's also got a moon. That one's sort of like a half moon. And there's lots of moons in here. Apparently a moon is a symbol that is beloved by these people in their funeral rites, but I'm not seeing any St. John's poppies. I've seen that flower before, but I don't remember what it is. I am not seeing that. I mean, this is a flower, but it's not the 5-pointed flower that is on that symbol. And that's got 4 points. Oh, Hall of Shields. Hall of Shields. How did I miss that last time? An ancestor of mine held an item of thaumic significance in the place known as the Hall of Shields. How did I miss? I was looking at multiple graves together. This is obviously going to be the Hall of Shields. I am very slow that I didn't notice that last time. As I descend further into the catacombs, a strange sensation comes over me. It's not fear, although fear is mixed in with it. With cold clarity, I know at once what it is. I've entered an area known as the Depths, a place where few have been and fewer have returned from. Not even Palians can clear the air here and render it safe to breathe, but there is a way. Slate miners inhale the vapors produced by a spirit called a wandering shroud. They say it invigorates their senses and stays the mind rot that would otherwise consume them. It would be dangerous to continue exploring down here without following their lead. Have I got anything by that name identified? I do not. Have I labeled something? We did get an item that meant we didn't have to breathe. In the last part, we identified an item. Let's first see if there is a wandering shroud in the index or in here. No, so it's known by another name. Shield charm or spirit vault. Okay, so there are 2 items. Generic charms of protection have little to offer the skilled thaumaturge, but can have some small effect. A wandering shroud will not abide them. Okay, so not that. Spirit vault. It stores a wandering shroud. A spirit vault, also known as a fetid chamber, is a receptacle used to store a wandering shroud. The interior is lined with a paste made from sulfur, hence the nickname. They're not considered dangerous since shrouds tend to be benign, but on occasions they don't take lightly to being restrained. Okay, so have I labeled a spirit vault? That's the next question. I feel like I had, yes. So That's probably going to be a smell thing. Smells like rotten egg. That was why I came to that conclusion. So let's see if I'm right. It's starting off well. I try to breathe in the vapors from the wandering shroud, but to my horror, I realize the spirit vault is empty. My vision starts to blur as the cloying air of the depths fills my lungs, and I stagger away in a daze. When at last I reach the surface, I take deep breaths of the fresh air, but my lungs ache for some time after. I need to be more careful. I've written to Barton Potter. He will know where to find a wandering shroud. So I haven't actually completed that, but I have identified my spirit vault, so there's that. It is an empty spirit vault, so therefore no good to me, but that's okay. That's one more thing I've identified. That's exciting. Okay, let's end the day. The rider's partner was less fortunate. They found his frozen body a week later. That's a short but succinct summary. Short and succinct kind of mean the same thing in that context, huh? Anyway. I am marked by Jupiter. Interesting. There is a list of symbols for deities, I seem to remember. Planetary metals. So that symbol, it's like a 2 and a 1. I am going to get... It's not going to be the street map. Let's try this one first. So we're looking for a tin symbol. All right, I'm not seeing it in here, but I also missed that there was an entire room with a wall of shields that I somehow didn't notice last time. So I'm not super confident in my observational ability, but I reckon it might be in the castle. So, because there are a lot of symbols on this map. Let's see, this one. Nice. The mark of Jupiter on my map leads me to a square room on the ground floor. Other than an intriguing torn note, there doesn't seem to be anything of interest, until I notice that the bookshelf is mounted on a runner and can slide to one side. I push it, and it glides easily, revealing a hidden entrance in the wall behind it. The castle vaults are blocked. It can be opened by something or gold that produces something. Right. Oh, and a cool little snake that has no smell, because that is what I have selected. It is bronze. We have onyx in it, which is the stone of the night from memory. And I have nothing to remark about it from a brain affecting point of view. The castle vaults are blocked. It can be opened by an something or gold that produces something. Well, until I know what it produces, I'm not super sure how I'm supposed to do anything with that, but that's all right. Let's actually open the shop. What do you reckon? Hi, James. I can't say too much, but it's fallen to me to carry a secret that people would kill for. That people have killed for. It's a lot of weight to carry around in my head, and it's getting harder to bear around certain family members. It occurred to me it would be safer in an ecumenical. Yes. Have I labeled something with that? I think I have. I have. Now, the question is why. So let's go back to the book. I'm not going to give it to him yet. I'm just going to pop you there and not click the button. So let's have a look at the book. An ecumenical is a receptacle commonly featuring a memento mori that acts as an aid to recollection. A memory cannot reside in both the mind and the ecumenical at the same time, and it cannot be stored indefinitely. When a memory has been left for long periods, it can begin to emit unpleasant vapors. An empty ecumenical, on the other hand, has an ominous presence. Okay, so memento mori, a reminder of death. That is that symbol, and it has unpleasant sensation because it's empty, nothing to smell, polished, and wood. So look, probably. Nice. It was the hourglass, to be honest. I did not watch Unus Annus at the time, but memento mori was obviously a big thing with that, so I am familiar. There's an hourglass motif on the box, and it has an unpleasant sensation suggesting it is empty. Nice. Thank you. Let's move you across. I want to know where his secret is. Done. Perfect. Hi, David. What's in the mail? It's getting dire out there. I mean, the weather looks nicer than yesterday. They found the body of that priest last night. She was torn to shreds by her own congregation and left to rot outside the town hall. Oh my gosh. Is this the lady I gave that item to? The folly? She wanted something that would, the fortunance. She wanted the fortunance, and I gave her the whatever it was, something's folly, that would make her more suggestible. Such horrific violence, it has no place in our town. Yes, I agree, David. 100%. All right. In answer to your question, yes, it's possible to capture a wandering soul. Or a wandering shroud. To the north of town, if you follow this little stream up through the woods, you'll come out on a hilltop that was clearly of some ancient significance. It's not uncommon to see wandering shrouds there. Be patient, be still, and they will come. So north of town, little stream through the woods to a hilltop. Okay, I can probably follow those directions. North of town, stream, woods, north of town. That's the only stream. Follow the stream up through the woods to a hilltop. Does that mean I just click here? Unless it's the barrows. I just can't go north. I feel like I'm supposed to go further north than that. Like, click up here, you know what I mean? And there's no way to do that. I guess I could click there first. After a pleasant walk along the beck, I realize reach a series of grassy mounds. The barrows. Whoever is buried in them must have been important in their time. If I'm to collect what I have come for, I will need to be prepared. Okay, so this maybe is the right location. Let's try... There it is. The Spirit Vault. It's a container and it's smelled stinky. Oh, I got an achievement. Ethereal encounter. Catch a wandering shroud. I sit and wait, quietly and patiently, not certain exactly what I'm looking for. For some time, nothing happens. And then, long after my mind has drifted towards a warm fire and hearty supper, I notice a movement in the corner of my eye. A strange thin mist has formed near one of the barrows. It seems to produce a sort of dark light, a contradiction that my eyes have trouble perceiving clearly. The ethereal creature, for surely this is a creature of some kind, ambles towards the vault that I've left out for this purpose, and I daren't breathe as it slowly nestles itself within the receptacle. Neat. So that should be done. I can go back here to you. And then I can use you. Nice. I breathe deeply from the spirit vault and it clears my mind. I don't care to linger too long down here, but I forge on until I reach the unmistakable Hall of Shields. A stone sarcophagus sits on a raised portion of rock in the centre of the cavern. I hold the torch close to better see the inscription on the side of the tome. It reads, "The sun's light will reveal my gift." Mystified, I cast my eyes up to the walls of the cavern and search the shields for some other clue, but nothing stands out. The sun's light. I'm looking at it too, because it's like, give me a clue. I'm not seeing anything. The sun's light will reveal my gift. Do I have an item? I do have an item that glows, don't I? That's not light. It could be the stone, the amber. Let's just try looking under light first thing. Oop, there's lots of entries under light. Aries Remnant, Ethereal Key, Sun Bond. That sounds promising. A small and lightweight item that carries the warmth of the light and the sun. So Sun Bond. And I have already identified it, so this should be easy. Been lots of steps for this puzzle. Goodness. The sun bond banishes the darkness in an instant, half blinding my gloom-adjusted eyes and bringing summer's warmth to the cold cavern. Blinking and squinting, I notice that one of the shields in particular is glowing in the bright light. I reach up and pull the shield down to reveal a small cavity hewn into the rock behind it. Inside is a blood-red urn. Ooh. Very cute. Red clay, warm and smooth, raised detailing. Nothing to remark in terms of smell or sound. Unsettling, the eyes seem to pierce my soul. Right. Lovely. And I get a tick on you. All right, let's go. James Herschel. Oh, it's the man, the guy. You know, the guy with the memory. I got to thinking after I left earlier, transferring this secret to an ecumenical only adds an extra step. Yes, it's safer than walking around with it in my head, but I would know where to find it. What I really need is a truth conduit so that I can deceive them into thinking I know nothing at all. As long as you are paying, sir. Do I have that labelled? It is not identified. Let's see if I have a theory for the truth conduit. I do. Oh, this is the tinkling one. Yeah, we're 99 to 100% sure about this one. I don't even need to explain that because that one we figured out on the last video. So this is the symbol for deception and apparently the tinkling sound helps somehow. Yes. Cool. Okay, sir. Good luck with your problem that you have with your secret. Hopefully it's not important to me and I haven't just done something terrible. I will have to, once again, redistribute, but that's fine. Evelyn Bennett. I have never felt more tired or more devoid of life. An apathy has settled into my bones that I do not seem to be able to shift. But while I still have breath in my lungs, I will not succumb without a fight. By the grace of Grey, I will find a way forward. I don't know what that means. Let's check the index. Is there something under Grey or Grace? I'm not even 100% sure. Short of reading the entire book, I'm not even sure where to start with this one. I could just check the ones I haven't confirmed yet that I don't off the top of my head know what they do. This is the one I gave the lady who got mangled. So I found it. It's just that she was calling it the Grace of Grey and there's a Grey's Grace. Right. So I'm slow. It's fine. Sorry to keep you waiting, ma'am. You could just call it the normal name that it is known by and you wouldn't have to wait so long. Here we go. Lucky it was on the front half of the alphabet. I would have been here a lot longer. You don't judge me, do you, Jupiter? Oh, hi, Barton. This is the guy who I wrote to about the other thing. I've had a tip-off about something exciting. Have you come across the so-called nameless gods? Did you also know that the tall stones you sometimes find in high places were once doorways of a kind? And here's the exciting part. An inscription has appeared on a stone that sits atop Weatherlam. This is where you come in. I'm confident that a pit will open the doorway. The other option is a Babelia to read the inscription. But they say if you read the language of the nameless god, you become cursed, which I can't say I like the sound of. I'm leaning towards the more direct approach, but then again, that could be dangerous too. I have labelled a Babelia. Have I got a theory on what a pit is? So I did see the Babelia when I was just scrolling through just then. The meaning of the markings is not clear. They resemble a mentic field, but do not produce a mentic field. So remember in the last part, I was looking at that spire when I thought it was the needle one. And we found this item. It's got the mentic field, but it's like 45 degrees off and the hole in the middle is bigger. So that's the Babelia. So that helps with translation. So let's find the pit. The three different elements that make up a pit allegedly represent the earth, the sun, and death. The Draidic, the Dionic, and the Noctic. These energies balance in such a way that the objects don't produce a Noctic field. They can crack solid rock. Okay, so Draidic, Dionic, and Noctic. So something that doesn't have a Dionic field for a start. I'm looking for something that has three things on it. I guess the first thing we should probably do is go back to here. So Draidic of the earth, Dionic of the day, Noctic of the night. So earth, day, and night. Fair enough. But they don't produce their field. So I don't need these symbols because that's to help you unlock the, like, auras. And we know it doesn't produce an aura. If it didn't involve so much tabbing back and forward between the screens, I could just check everything that doesn't have an aura. That would definitely narrow it down. This has 3 elements on it. So we'd have to look up the gem, the stone, and the ring. Let's bring you down here. Do you have an aura? Because there's no point in doing all of the late looking things up. It does have an aura, so it's not that. Anything I don't have a guess on, I guess? That I've got a guess on. This is relating to rebirth. We're looking for something more related to stone. I have theories for those, so let's bring you down. You also have an aura, so it's not you. Paralysis symbol. You have a Noctic aura. You have a speckly field. Warm and smooth, textured. That's got 3 elements to it, but it doesn't have a proper aura. We're going to bring you down. And we're going to find the pit. So, sun, earth, and death. Look, I could see that being in those 3 elements because what is this metal? Clay is earth, gold is definitely the sun in our book of metals. If I then go, earth is... Okay, that's the symbol. I want the materials. Planetary metals. Okay. Gold is the sun. 100% confirmed. Look, let's give it a shot. I feel like it's our best bet for the pit. So here's the real question. Do I actually want to give him the pit? Or do I want to give him the thing that translates? Break the thing or read the warning? Look, to be perfectly honest, I'm more of the know what you're getting into before you open the door kind of a person. So I feel like having gone through all that effort, I actually don't want to give that to him. I want to give him this thing. So... Thank you for bearing with me. Okay. Yes, it does. Good luck. Thank you. I hope this works. Look, don't go crazy. Here's the token of my appreciation. Something for you to ponder. It's not me. Ooh. It's got a track. That's cute. All right, let's move you. And I need to rearrange again, as is traditional. Yellow sandstone. Interesting. Triangle and a circle. Look, I am going to look that up just because I'm curious. Just a straight old triangle. It's like a circle with 4 points and a little thing off the bottom. You know, this. Wax. It's the symbol for wax. And the symbol for fire. Fire and wax. Like a candle. It's a symbol for a candle. Didn't do anything when I did that. I'm just going to label it with those symbols and then we'll move on. Fire and wax. It's even got wax with the fire above it. Like, feels like this is the right idea. I don't know. I don't know. With dreams of earning his fortune long banished from his mind, the man brought the casket to a trusted friend, the curator of a museum in Undermere. Together they looked for answers. Ooh. I am buried with the Knight of Thorns. Okay, well, we'll go to the crypt. I'm assuming... Oh, it's raining. I like it when it's raining in this game. Let's go to the crypt. Crypting time. Knight of Thorns. Buried with the Knight of Thorns. I mean, we could check the index for the keywords, I guess, just in case it's a index thing. Because it could be like a symbol that resembles an item that has that in the keywords, that kind of stuff. Knight of Thorns, a shimmer. Okay, it did. There you go. I have identified the shimmer. Ooh, 1356. He was slain in the Battle of Southerfell of 1356. So I'm looking for a year. 1566. Here we go, this guy. Nice. The tomb of the Knight of Thorns resides alongside an ossuary filled with the unknown dead from the Battle of Southerfell. It's an unpleasant place that I do not plan to linger in. Happily, I'm able to find the item I came for without any difficulty, and I quickly leave and don't look back until I'm out in the bright of day once more. So we know this is... No, maybe that's not fire because it has a line across it. I was literally just looking at that. This one, air, water. Is it air and water? Air, water, air, water. Nice. Let's just hope for the best, kitty. Thomas Pope. I've noticed that some people claim not to fear death. They say that dying scares them, but not death itself. Not me. Not the great Thomas Pope. Give me pain, give me fear. If I can feel, then I know I'm alive. Going back to the nothingness. That's what I fear. I'm going to do my best to live forever, starting today with a loam. Let me just get back to you, sir. Sometimes called a hand of Jupiter or a fire palm, a loam is an item with enticing power. They can reverse the signs of aging, but anyone who's played that game knows it can only last so long before time catches up, and when it does, it often hits harder. A hand of Jupiter or a fire palm. I do have a hand here. Let me first look up. Jupiter is one of the planets in the book, so let me just read what it says. Isn't it? I thought it was. Oh, here we go. Jupiter. Tin. So a hand of tin. A hand made of tin. Loam. Yes. I actually have already labeled it. And my note says tin equals Jupiter. I'd already done that thinking, apparently. Nice. Cool. Good luck with not dying. Bye-bye. Cool. That's exciting. Let's move you across. L. Loam. Agnes Dent. There's been an unexpected death in the family. It has hit all of us quite hard, but particularly my husband. I would like to gift him a heart chamber. I feel like I've done that one already. Haven't I? Or maybe not. Apparently not. Or if I have, it is known by a different name. Let's first check the book. See if we have an entry for a heart chamber. I do not have it identified. A vast skull in the catacombs, said to be that of the beast Blencathra. So that's the big skull on the bottom right of that map. Holgar's followers believe that when he slew it, he trapped its soul along with its power in an item known as the Wraith Chamber. Heart chambers are based on this mythical object, but they've morphed over time in a way to keep those dear to us closer to our heart after death. It could be one of those, because he trapped its soul in an item known as a Wraith Chamber, and it looks like a Wraith Chamber. So if we assume that one of these three things is the Wraith Chamber, let's have a look, because we do have one that looks like that. Have I identified it already? This one. Nothing to remark. This looks like one of the things he's wearing in that picture. That is literally all I have to go on. He's got a necklace with like a picture of somebody. I mean, he's also got all of these things. He's got a lot of charms, this guy. Other than the fact that its symbol resembles death and it's like a coffin shape. I don't have any other theories. Appears in the sketch of Holgar, and it has a sigil resembling the Holgren Grim mask. I mean, they do look very similar to one another. Like, it's the same mythological creature that these are both designed after. I say mythological creature because the dude had 4 arms, and that's, you know, not giving super realistic, but that's alright. Hey, kitty. Edmund Bishop. I suddenly remembered this note that I found some time ago, and it occurred to me I should have given it to you when I gave you the map. The wording is very similar to that note on the map. It always intrigued me, but I never did work out what it meant. Blessings in spring, rising in autumn. Yes, that does sound familiar, because I was just looking at the castle map, and it has this: Mars in winter, rising in summer. Blessings in spring, rising in autumn, Mars in winter, rising in summer. So, rising in autumn, rising in summer. Blessings in spring, Mars in winter. I don't know what any of that means, but that's fine. Spring, summer, autumn, winter. So, rising was summer and autumn? So, autumn looks like a little egg, and summer looks like a boob. So, rising... I'm not seeing summer on the map. Am I seeing an egg or a circle with a dot in it? Not seeing either of those symbols. Mars in winter. Mars is iron. Rising isn't going to be anything. Oh, here we go. Blessings. So blessings is the moon with the 3 dots. Mars is the iron symbol. Moon with 3 dots is here. Blessings, and there's iron. So what do the 2 risings mean? I'm just going to check the index on this book to see if we have an entry yet for like rising. No, it's not how the alphabet works. We have ring, rock, resonant, so no. There's no like tear marks or anything to indicate. Mars in winter, rising in summer. Blessing in spring, rising in autumn. I guess given that it's the only thing that's clickable on, let's go to the courtyard. Neat hedgerows and worn pillars frame the space. Gravel crunches underfoot, the only sound in the otherwise quiet courtyard. There's no reason to linger. Yeah, I'm stumped. I'm actually stumped on that. I'm going to park it for now. And we'll hope. There's a few notes that I haven't decoded. It's quite upsetting. Thaddeus White. Something isn't right at the museum. I'm worried it's all my fault. You're the guy that helped the guy with the chest, right? I'd hope my brother would be back by now. I have had an idea though. I'm no thaumaturge, but I think I can weaken it using a witherance. Oh dear me, this had better work. Before I hand it over, let me just look up what a witherance does. The inverse of a fortinance put to more malicious use. Crafted from stone like the fortinance, but wood is more commonly used. Okay. So a fortness makes you strong, a witherance makes you weak. I mean, we have labeled it already. I don't have a choice, so... Okay. Hey, kitty. Jacob Priestley. My mind is severed. Need metha. I mean, we only have 2 methas. We have a solemn metha and an unlabeled metha. So, what does the solemn one do? Well, we have 3. The third one we've identified. I don't remember what it does, though. Considered the most powerful, permits the drinker to forge pathways in the mind to recall that which has been forgotten or to repair that which has been broken. Now, I labeled this one after the last part because of its thaumic field. So, I can show you real quick if I bring it down here. See how, like, thick those lines are? If I compare that to this one, that's quite thin. It's, like, chunky. So that's the only reason I've labeled it. But I also think it's a pretty good bet. And the methas are the cups. Here you go, bud. Good luck. Wait, oh, it's down here. I'm like, where did my method go? It's just vibing. I will resort after this part, like after I'm done with the day, because obviously this is too crowded, but... Hi, Francesca. I've discovered something via the thaumic needle. The woman who tried to swim across the lake was compelled to do so by some invisible force. She was looking for something, and whatever it is, it's right here in Undermere. That's not all. I decided to experiment with the Ambra. When I was under its spell, I heard whispers. Something was calling to me, and it left me feeling terribly afraid. This must be what's keeping my patients in their trance-like state. I've never used a Gaudian siren before, but it occurred to me I might be able to use it to drown out the whispers. Now, that's the one that has that, like, luring effect. So they can divert attention with a strong compulsion. We have already labeled that as well. Again, somewhat confident, mainly based on the shape, but also I did identify the metal, like the components. So that's gold, wood, and a green gemstone, so like malachite or something. So it appears in the sketch of the cabinet. I don't remember that. It's an obelisk shaped like the thaumic needle and has an attention demanding power. Those are the 2 things I labeled it based on. So that's the end of the day. Oh my goodness. Oh, I did not change the color of your label, sir. Right, well, there's a few puzzles I haven't cracked yet, but I didn't need them for these 2 days, which makes me wonder if I haven't got all the information. The castle's vaults are blocks. It can be opened by an or gold that produces something. Where are the castle vaults? To the vaults is here. The vaults are blocked by a large iron door. It has no handle or keyhole and it does not give the slightest when I push against it. It has been thaumatically sealed, but that's not much help. It's not clear what I need to open it. Something or gold that produces something. I'm guessing the ethereal key is not going to get it done, right? I could try it. Nah. Slow down and think this through more carefully. I mean, I didn't think about that at all. It could be anything. It could be no aura. It could be the tinkling sound that deception item makes. Until I find the other half of the thing. Hang on. Wait. The castle vaults are blocked by a dionic seal. It can be opened by an object made from silver or gold that produces a dionic field. This is an item made from gold. Does it have to be just gold? This one is silver and gold. Produces a dionic field. We could try it. Okay, so that ore was doing some work. I do have some stuff that's silver. This one's... There was one that was like tarnished silver. This one. That also has a dionic field. Oh, dionic field specifically? I'm thinking thaumic. Okay, so I need... that's on me. I'm looking for the wrong aura. So dionic of the day. Okay, so I need to check that aura. So maybe I can do this. Up, down, Oh, you're in the middle. Wait, you go there. And then I'm looking for the square. This is the aura. I'm looking for the double circles. Is that you? No, you are the wrong item. Silver or gold? I mean, you are gold. But you're not going to be Dionic, because Dionic's of the day. Wait, you are? Why does the Moonstone Guardian have a daytime aura? That's weird. Does it have to be just gold, though? Because if it has to be just gold, I'm about to have a bad time. Yay! It was right. And I've solved a puzzle that has been bugging me for ages. So I was actually missing half that puzzle. That's validating. The door slides open without a sound, as though it has been kept well oiled over the years. Behind it, I find a large natural cavern that extends into the rock beneath the castle. Somewhat disappointingly, the walls are lined with racks of whiskey bottles instead of the rows of artifacts that I was picturing. When I show Edmund, he's delighted and spends some time examining the dusty shelves. It's not long before he makes a find that I'm surprised I missed. I return to the shops with a spring in my step and a curious item that demands further study. Spring, summer, autumn, winter. That's the bit I need for the other map, right? So much for me saying I was going to wrap up. Spring, summer, autumn, winter. Mars is that one in winter. Rising in summer? Because that's summer. Maybe rising is where I have to click. So Mars in winter, rising in summer would be that room. The smells and sounds of cooking greet me as I enter the castle kitchens. I feel a little foolish as I try to avoid the cook's glares while following the clues left to me by a mad old man. What was I thinking? I'm not going to find anything here. And yet on the exact spot where the map leads me, there's something. A floorboard has been cut and replaced. With a little difficulty, I lift it up and feel around in the cavity below before my fingers grasp something hard. Oh my goodness. Hidden knowledge. Use the bishop's square. Alright, so that was the one on the map. That one. So I've done that, but I haven't actually completed the puzzle. Let's just clean up my notes a little. So I can get rid of that and get rid of that. Blessings in spring, rising in autumn. So I was just missing something. That's actually, again, validating. So blessings in spring was that one, I think, but let me just confirm. So spring is the teardrop with the line through it. So blessings in spring, rising in autumn. The symbols on the map lead me up the winding stair of the North Tower. The pendant has been carefully hidden, but knowing where to look means it doesn't take me long, and I'm soon on my way back to the shop with a new trinket to add to our growing collection. Interesting. Wood oak, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously I can look that symbol up, and I've got to look those symbols up, but I can get rid of that. Okay, I didn't actually read the note for the square. The bishop's square is a simple tool of my great-great-grandfather's devising, loosely based on a Briar's disc, which is the one we had in the previous game that let you navigate based on the symbols. By all accounts, he was an impressive man, but it would seem his mind began to fail him at the end. Perhaps he spent too long studying his Zia. He imagined invisible enemies coming to steal away his most prized possessions, so he began hiding them about the castle, noting their locations in a code that only he understood. Well, him and me. Now, I'm just going to pop that there, I guess. Okay. Exciting. Well, I will label those symbols, but I'm going to do that off screen, I think. I'm also going to tidy up my objects because this is messy as anything. So I'm going to leave it here. I feel like I achieved some things right there at the end. I was feeling a little perturbed. I still don't know what that flower, moon, sun thing is. It hasn't been relevant yet. So, I mean, not that I know of. I'm assuming it's going to be another item, but I haven't had anything with that symbol on it yet. Yeah, I'm obviously, it's not on there either. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to leave this one here. If you've enjoyed, please like and subscribe. You know the drill. Don't forget to wash your hands. I will catch you next time. Thanks for watching.